Hello there, friends. Your pal Jason here. Another week gone by, another episode of Only Murders in the Building, and we're here to talk about it. So, I'm obviously going to be talking spoilers for everything in this season up to this point, including and especially episode 5, titled The Tell. This was definitely an interesting episode, and we got some good clues and some good insight into certain things. Starting the episode off with a monologue from Will about family and secrets, specifically that Oliver has a way of figuring out a person's tell, whether they're lying, what they're hiding. And he used to use that a lot at parties, particularly at his favorite, with his favorite party game, Son of Sam, a game, it's like a card game where most of the cards in the deck are blonde women cards, victims basically. And there's only one Son of Sam killer. And the object of the game is to discover who the Son of Sam killer is before he kills all the victims in the game. So then we find that, so Mabel's kind of going through the passages of in the Arconia, kind of close to where her apartment's at, and coming out of the juncture in the vent just beneath her closet, she finds a matchbook from the Pickle Diner. That was the diner that Bunny visits quite frequently, where the waiter Ivan, she tipped him that massive amount of money, as we saw in episode 3. While she's going through the catacombs, she's on the phone with Alice, who we haven't seen for a couple episodes. Apparently, Alice and Mabel's relationship has gotten more serious, as they've been on a few dates at this point. Alice is having trouble because she's trying to host a party at her art gallery, but the ceiling's leaking, so she can't do that. So she asks Mabel if she can have the party at her place, and Mabel agrees, says it would be a good idea. So Oliver's still helping his son Will direct Wizard of Oz, the play, and he's trying to make a push that, he makes a promise to Will that he won't let things get in the way of family. And I think that's funny because there's a line, he says, I won't let anything get between family, and he cuts his own self off mid-sentence when his phone chimes to say, oh, I have to take this is important. And I thought that was funny. That was a funny little bit. But he goes back home. Also, kind of at the same time, we're seeing the conversation that Charles is having with Jan at the prison. He's not only responding to her relentless calls, but he's also trying to get some insight on who this killer might be. And there's an interesting back and forth between him and Jan. Now, Jan mentions that, and he kind of describes it as the killer composing the scene, stabbing Bunny 8 times with a knife, then sticking some knitting needles, Mabel's knitting needles, in the wound to make it appear that Mabel's the killer. And she then says, you're looking for an artist, and an artist never stops the piece in the middle. They always try to see it through to the end. So is there anyone new, anyone hanging around? And that's when he thinks of Alice. So they, thanks to the matchbook, they go to the pickle diner to talk to Ivan, see if there are any regular clients who might have a beef with Bunny. Mabel mentions the party. Oliver and Charles decide to go. They also present the theory that it's unusual. The timing of Alice coming into Mabel's life is just a little too strange. So it's clear that she's now their prime suspect, at least for Charles and Oliver. Mabel is still really trying to make this work and try to be happy, which she deserves it. So they go to this party, and Oliver decides that the best way to smoke Alice out is to play this Son of Sam game. So they play the game. Everything kind of goes the way you would expect. And then finally we come to the end. One by one, people are taken out of the game. Charles is the first to go, and then other players are removed until there are 3 left: Oliver, Mabel, and Alice. So Oliver really decides to lay in on Alice by asking questions, believing she's the son of Sam, revealing that her tell is that when she plays with her hair when she's talking. So you can tell she's lying when she plays with her hair, because she had done it before at the party when she was talking about her time at Oxford and being from a prestigious artsy family. And what he gets out of her is that she's been lying about being this famous, from this wealthy family, having this prestigious background and all that. But Oliver had thought that she might have been the Son of Sam killer. So when she reveals her card, it's not the Son of Sam. So Mabel's angry because of Oliver's line of interrogation. She reaches out to Charles, who sticks with Oliver, and when she reveals that it's not the Son of Sam, Oliver's kind of dismayed, baffled. Mabel's angry, and Charles is just, if this is what people do at parties, I'm out. So as the party comes to an end, Oliver sees Ivan, the waiter from the pickle diner, dropping the money at Bunny's door. Mabel kind of confronts Alice about her lying, and Alice said she just lied to so that she wouldn't be like a laughingstock, a mockery in the art world. And Mabel, they have this heart to heart, and Mabel just forgives her. Charles is still having conversations with Jan over the phone, and kind of realizes she's trying to convince him that they're meant to be, even though all this other stuff happened. She killed Tim Kono. She tried to kill him. She's saying, details, but who cares? And eventually he comes around by the end of the episode, visiting her and giving her some blueberry bagels that she requested. Oliver goes to the pickle diner to visit Ivan, and find out if there's anything more that he might know. Ivan merely tried to return the money because he thought it would look suspicious. Getting all that money and then she dies. Like, it would make him like prime suspect number 1, basically. So this then leads to them looking at the security camera because, as you recall, he said that when he was on his day off, Bunny had a visitor. So they check the tape, and they don't get the killer's face, and the video's really grainy, but they do see the killer after Bunny storms off in the video. They do see the killer get up and go and pick up one of the matchbooks. So they know for sure that whoever Bunny was with that day is the one who killed her because they had a matchbook from the Pickle Diner that was picked up that earlier, that day before. So, and in the final moments, one of the big reveals too is that in Alice's bag next to her side of Mabel's bed is the Son of Sam card, which means during the course of the game, she switched cards. She had the Son of Sam card and she switched cards. Now, one thing I did notice when watching through that scene was that Alice had her hands behind her back the entire time she was playing the game. Mabel had her hands on the card in front of her the entire time. So, Alice was clearly doing some shifty business behind the scenes. I'm not counting her out just yet. Even though he didn't appear in this episode at all, I am still suspicious of Howard. Whether he's the killer or not, who knows? There is still something going on at the NYPD, as we need not forget. So there's some foul play. Who knows? Maybe that might factor into this somehow. What game is Jan playing with Charles? Is she playing a game, or is she just looking for companionship? And finally, the biggest reveal of the entire episode. Will comes to Oliver and tells him that they took the DNA test and asks Oliver if he is sure he's 100% Irish, to which Oliver answers in his Oliver way, well, of course I'm 100% Irish. And he says because the DNA test came back for this ancestry project that he's doing for his son in school. And, one half is definitely mom, but the other half is Greek. To which Oliver has the realization that Greek is very much the Greek of Teddy Demas. So it's pretty obvious at this point that Teddy Demas is Will's real father, not Oliver. Bombshell. Now, how does that doesn't factor into the case, but that definitely factors into Oliver's life. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out in future episodes. But that's all I've got for episode 5 of Only Murders in the Building. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode, if I missed anything, any questions, comments, that sort of thing. Any theories of who the killer might be? My prime suspects are Alice and Howard. And I know Howard probably didn't do it, but who knows? He could have mustered up the courage to stab someone 8 times. Who knows? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell to get updates on all my future videos, especially my Only Murders in the Building kind of chit-chat. And thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you next week. Bye.